up a Blemish, you are going to want to match your concealer exactly to your skin. You don't really want it to be lighter, maybe like a hair lighter, if that. And you're going to take your finger. You're going to use your finger to put it on. And you're going to pat, 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 because you don't need tons. You just need a little bit, and you're going to just lightly tap it on the blemish till it disappears. You can blend out the corners if you need to, but if it's the same color, you shouldn't have to blend too much. Just tap, 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 tap. And the reason I'm using my finger is because if I use a brush or sponge, it's not going to provide enough full coverage. So my fingertip is the best and also mimics the texture of skin the best. Next, I'm going to take concealer, and you just want to put concealer where you need it. You don't want to make these huge drawn out lines, okay? We want to look pretty, not Instagrammy. So we're just going to put this where we need it, which is these dark circles under the eyes. I'm going to put a teensy bit here because my nose is a little dark. Honestly, I don't want to pull my chin forward too much, so I'm just going to leave it under my eyes. I think that's the best. My foundation did a good job covering. So I'm going to go back in with this the sponge, oh my gosh, and just pat it. Probably should have done this as like a live, but then I don't think you can save them. So I'm sorry if this is really annoying and broken up, but it will be saved in my story highlights, so at least you can see it there. Okay, I think it's blended. My light's sort of fading from the outside. Okay, so blend it out. Now we're gonna bronze, contour, blush. So I have this really pretty like matte taupey color that I have from Tarte Cosmetics. It came in one of their palettes randomly, and I took it out of that palette and put it in my own personal palette. So any sort of, the thing with contour is you don't want it to be too warm. Even if you have a warmer skin tone, taupier colors are going to give you more of like that shadow structure that you want. You don't want it to be too cool where it's like purpley, but just sort of like a medium cool taupe is a good place to land for a contour color. And I'm going to get some on this sort of shaped brush. Any contour brush will do. If you wanted to and you have a sponge, you could make it work with a sponge. There's lots of options. So I'm going to use this brush. Easy way to tell you, it would just be to sort of, you can feel where your cheekbone is and you want to get in the hollows, but it's usually like the top of your ear to the corner here. You're not going to draw a straight line. That's not what we're going for. But you are going to come in until like your pupil essentially. So I'm just going to brush that on. And you can already see the difference, can't ya? And I'm going to pat a little bit of the color off so I can blend it out a little bit more. Okay, so there's one cheekbone. This one's not done. Other places you can contour would be like up at your temples, near your forehead. I have a semi-larger forehead, so I'm gonna contour some of that out. You kind of want to think of contouring as if you stuck your face through an oval cut out on a piece of paper, you want to contour the areas that are outside of that piece of paper when it comes to areas on your face. But cheekbones, everyone can contour. Doesn't matter unless you have like super defined ones, then maybe you don't want to contour them because it'll just make them really intense and maybe a little skeleton-y. And then I'm even going to come in here and contour a little bit on my nose. Alright, so you can see half is contoured, half is not. Alright, blush. Oh, so many pretty blushes that you can choose from. But if you want a cheap sort of contouring trick, you can use Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. If you don't have like a bronzer or something, I would recommend, I think that they have one just called Bronzer. This is called Deep Bronzer, and it's a little darker, if you have a fair skin tone, you probably want just the bronzer, but this is beautiful if you have a medium skin tone. So just suggestions. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Been inside too long. Okay. For blush, for myself, like if you have more like yellow undertones, sorry, blending this out a little. Okay. You can use like a peachy color, or I love this one from Beauty Counter. It's like, in my opinion, similar to like the NARS blush that's really popular. But you can see I like peachy colors for myself. But pinky colors are beautiful too. MAC has a beautiful one called Sweet Enough. And actually, e.l.f. Cosmetics has one very similar to this color, but it's like a bronzer blush duo. If you're looking to save money on a dime last minute, these are my suggestions. But if you are looking to buy real makeup, then buy some real makeup. Okay. I also like it because it has a little bit of a shimmer, so it's kind of more bridal-y. I'm just putting it on a brush. You can use sponge, brush, you can even use your fingers, but we're gonna use a brush. So I'm just gonna kind of smile to find the apples of my cheeks, just softly. And I'm putting the blush like right here. I'm not bringing it in here. So where my pupil is, we're not putting blush here. We're putting it here. I'm just letting it sort of meld into that contour a little bit. If you feel like you go too high, then just go back in with your sponge that has a little concealer on and blend it out. It's like painting. I'm really sad we're on this quarantine because after looking this nice, nowhere to go. Alright, so that's just blush. Other tip for blush. If you want to make yourself look really put together, I recommend putting a hint of blush right on the outer third of your crease here, because it really just ties the look together and makes it extra pretty. Highlighter, totally optional. If you have like a shimmery blush, you don't really need a highlighter, but I will show you a highlighter just because why not? So my favorite highlighter right now is actually this really pretty subtle one from Beauty Counter. It was in their like limited edition palette, but it's like this pretty like light pink, and I like to mix it. I don't know, I like to mix, but this pink one's my favorite. You can use a brush like this e.l.f. blush brush, it's really nice. Or you can use your fingers. I will show you fingers first and then I'll show you the brush. So I just take two fingers together and I tap them till there's like some color on there, you can see. And then I just tap it on the highest points of my face. Which is gonna be your cheekbones, a little bit on your brow bone. If you want to, a little bit in the middle of your nose. I wouldn't go to the point because you don't really want to draw attention to the point of your nose, but you do want to bring the center of your face forward a little bit. So just a hint. Okay, and then I also like to take a little, if this has gotten muddied, and just re-brighten it up. Does it work? Hey. Okay, now with the brush, you can just tap the tip of the brush. You don't need the whole brush cover, just the tip, because you don't want your whole face to be glowing. You just want the high points of your face to be glowing. And I just sort of put it on those areas. Same thing here. And I'll just smooth it out because I can't really tell with the light. And then if you take a little bit and put it on your Cupid's bow, just sort of brightens up the lip area, makes it stand out real pretty. Okay, lip liner, NYX, you can find at the drugstore and it is perfect. So my favorite is Nude Pink, which I think is 858. I can't see it on here because it's so tiny, but Another good color I think is 810, which is like Bare Nude or something. But this is a really pretty pinky color. So I'm just gonna see if I can get a little one here to show you. I like it because it's like sort of a natural lip color, but a little bit of pink. And it's not a super cool pink. So it goes nice with peachy blushes. And since this is mine, I'm just gonna kind of smear all over. I don't like to overdraw my lips or anything. Okay, so that's one color you can use. And I wouldn't even recommend using lipstick. I would recommend using a pencil and a gloss because it's a lot easier to touch up with those things, and it saves you money. So another good color is by Estee Lauder, but this was a sample and they're expensive, so I'm not going to recommend it. But it's kind of a pretty nude color. One of my favorite colors is Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not even really putting these on. I don't know what I'm doing. Right. Those are probably my favorite, but the NYX are going to be the cheapest and honestly some of the best. I use them on all my clients. And then we're going to go in with a gloss. Looks, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but they have like these plumping glosses, which are really pretty and smell like candy. If you want something nice. This is like a sparkly pink a client gave me. Beauty counter glosses are some of my favorite because they're not very sticky, and they're just kind of pretty. And then I have this like peachy sample. Smells like watermelon from, again, Estee Lauder. So those are just some ideas of gloss colors. And then I'm gonna just swatch these pencils so you can see ideas of what kind of colors are good for like nude and natural lips. Gloss, I'm probably gonna let's try a little bit of this one. Feels a little dark for my liking. So I'm gonna actually, oh, it's tingling. Okay. I'm gonna actually go in with one of these to lighten it up a little. It's hard to see. If you have really tiny lips, you can just put gloss in the middle and that will open them up. And then if you need to, I always go in with a little bit more blush at the end because once your lip color's on, it makes it bolder. One step I forgot is if you have really small eyes, you can get a nude liner. Maybelline and NYX both have one. It's just like, it looks like a concealer color, but it's an eyeliner. And you can put this in your waterline and it can really help to open your eyes. So let me show you on one. And you can see the difference already. Now I would put mascara on, where's my mascara? After, because it's a little clumped, but you can see the difference already. Such more open eyes. Oh my word, I don't even know what English that was. More open eyes. Alright, so little trick, little tip to helping open up those eyes a little bit more.